didn't miss too much. The map is going to be the Dragonshire. The Dragonshire coming out once again. A lovely map. Love casting it, as it seems like it casted nothing but Cursed Hollow last night. So, BR Bakerz, Bob is going to ban out Stitches, and then the Sergeant Hammer ban from EG Pentagram. Immediate pickup on to Zeratul, which again, that is a very European specific first pick. We don't see Zeratul very much in North America, but I know European teams absolutely love him. He's a great displacement, a very strong late game hero. His early game is can be mitigated just through pretty much avoiding him. Is definitely substantial, but good hero nonetheless. And then they immediately Diablo and Uther pick up from Pentagram. They got themselves the healing support. They got themselves a great frontliner. And BR Bakerz bringing out the Drunken Brewmaster in the Chen.
Chen is something that we're going to be seeing a lot of here. I mean, it's definitely the favored hero over the pond for the warrior role. But as Zeratul, we've seen Zeratul bans. Maybe there's something I don't know about EU Zeratul that has become so ban-worthy. But now as a first pick, BR Bakerz is really going to hopefully show me the big power that they're going to be bringing forth with that. So we're going to think of our third. We still have no DPS on the table. I mean, by now we would have seen a Vala on the NA side of things, or a Sergeant Hammer if it wasn't banned, or an Illidan if it wasn't banned. But in terms of some kind of big damage numbers at this point, I cannot imagine a Vala would be unwelcome in any kind of comp.
Seeing what they go with here, taking their time, figuring it out. Yeah, I think Vala would be a great choice here. It would be good follow-up with a Void Prison. If they go Rain of Vengeance, just Vala is such a very strong hero. The numbers she puts up is insane, and there it is. There's the Vala pickup. So a very well-rounded draft from both of these teams. EG Pentagram, they need to get themselves some damage dealers. Looking at who is available, obviously Sergeant Hammer was taken out by their own selves. Tyrande is on the map. Tychus is available, and don't forget about actually Illidan. If they wanted to go with an Illidan Tassadar right here, they could absolutely pick that up, and there's such a tried and true strong synergy that they have between those two heroes. I won't be surprised if that's what they end up getting.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's an open book. I mean, with the Zeratul and the Vala already out, the Sergeant Hammer bans, we could see an Illidan. I mean, that's absolutely possible. And they already got that Uther. There's no Rhaegars on the table, no Tyrandas yet either. No Tyrandas. I don't know. Like, I have no idea what kind of big play style that Penta likes to run for here. But I mean, it's an open book. With the Vala out, they are going to need somebody range. We've already seen a Tychus now today as well.
Yep.
What kind of backline will Penta go for?
Their backline could just be their front line. And okay, so there's the Illidan. So Diablo Illidan, that is a big dive-heavy composition. They want to get into the backline and disrupt the damage dealers, obviously the Vala and the Zeratul. Though with the Chen barrel, they definitely, BR Bakerz has a great tool at disrupting the initiation from Pentagram. So there's definitely going to be this aspect of a movable object versus unstoppable force, where who's going to come out on top is all about positioning and all about timing their heroics accordingly. Pentagram still needs to get themselves either, if they want to go with a double warrior, ETC is available. If they want to pick up a great utilitarian and damage hero, Tassadar is still available, assuming BR Bakerz doesn't choose it. But once again, Rhaegar is available too. So a lot of options for both of these teams. I feel like Rhaegar or Malfurion are definitely the healing supports to go here. And an Asmodon coming out. This is a strat we haven't seen in quite some time. Initially, it was brought into the meta over in North America by Tempo Storm. It just blew up. A lot of teams recognize the strength of that level 1 talent. And we're going to see it come into play here once again, Sean.
Wow. All right. So an Asmodon has kind of really fallen off on the NA side of things.
Yeah.
It had a good fad, but if your name isn't Arthalon, you're not really doing it right. So we'll have to see if BR Bakerz can actually throw us a bone in that regard. So a Zeratul with a Vala and an Asmodon. They need a healer. Ooh. There's still a Malfurion. There's still a Rhaegar. In fact, I think in terms of your best bet, I might actually just go with the Rhaegar. But no, they're actually going to say we don't need burst healing. We got shields. I'm curious to see if there'll be shields aplenty there from the Chen with enough to share.
Yes.
But with the Malfurion, I don't know. There's not a lot of big burst healing on that back of that.
They definitely have themselves a lot of sustain, though, and there's not much burst damage coming out from Pentagram. They don't have like a Jaina Tyrande composition right now. They could pick that up if they so choose so. They can go for the double warrior. ETC is available. I feel that actually that would be a really heavy dive composition, but facing that up against the barrel of Chen can be a little bit of a slippery slope. That's committing themselves so much to big 3 frontline melee warriors that can get disrupted easily by Chen hitting his R that I don't feel that's the route that they need to go here. I feel like they should get another strong backliner or go with a double healer composition. It's a good possibility. Rhaegar or Tassadar, I think, are the go-to heroes for them. For the last pick, we're going to see what they do here. They got about 45 seconds to figure it out, and it's just could be many, many different heroes.
I mean, I've already been wrong once before. They do got an Uther under their belt. Double support has been very strong in terms of this current patch meta, but yeah, I've been proven wrong. There's also no Tyrande. There's no Tyrande here.
Yeah.
That's almost like foreign to me right now.
I know. It's crazy. They could pull off the Tyrande pretty well if with the Diablo and the Tyrande. That it's a good composition. The big 1/2 overpower into Lunar Flare. We haven't seen it executed very well. I feel like the Tyrande players we've seen today have been a little underwhelming, unfortunately. We haven't seen one really pull out great Lunar Flares and good follow-up to just pick people apart. We saw a, big aggressive pick-up composition coming from... Wait, is
Sorry, I couldn't even say it without choking. It's an Abathur.
Is that correct?
Wow. I am impressed. I really want to see what Penta is going to do with this.
What? Okay, and also, did you notice that there's a Muradin all of a sudden over there? For Zeratul just turned into a Muradin.
What? The site just bugged out for some reason. That's what Nanda just said to me here. So what's the actual draft? I don't know.
Yeah, let's see here. So what was the last pick from... Let's see. We're going to confirm that this is an Abathur pick. Looks like there might be a little of a bug going on from Penta.
What? Okay, you asked them what the actual draft is.
We're trying to figure it out.
I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, okay, it is. It's an Abathur. So this is a hero we haven't seen in a long time and is considered, to be honest, not very good at all. I'm really interested to see the application they have here. If they're going to go with a weird split push with the monstrosity, if they're going to stick with that ultimate evolution. I think ultimate evolution on probably, I guess, maybe the Illidan or the Tychus. If the Tychus goes with an overkill build, that can be a lot of damage with 2 overkills on 1 target. This is going to be interesting. I haven't seen Abathur in a long time, Sean.
That's kind of why I almost choked on my words when he was picked. It's just like, all right, so it bugged out. I thought maybe that wasn't going to be the actual pick there. But again, maybe I need to be paying more and more attention here to the EU style. Maybe they know something about Abathur that we don't. But
right.
Wow. So to confirm, that it is not a Muradin. It is a Zeratul. That will be the Zeratul melee, not the double tank pick there. And it will be an Abathur on the flip side. Wow. So teams have actually loaded in now, so they're getting ready to go. That's not you. That's totally you. And we're going to be getting into this last of our best of 1 guys for our round of 32 coverage. I do have confirmation, though. We are going to be going right into El Nexo up against their winners right after this. A lot of people have been discussing that in the chat. So I've made the arrangements. That will be good, which means that we will probably be seeing, I don't know, it really depends. Like, it'll be Barrel Boys up against the winner of Stigma and TR. Not entirely too sure what those teams are there, but that will be their first best of 3 in the round of 8. The winner of this moves on to SK Gaming for their first round best of 3. Yolu will be taking on the winner of OPL and ESC, and we're going to be jumping into El Nexo up against the winner of TTB and IMG. So many acronyms here today. But that is more or less the schedule for our quarters. We are going to be jumping into the El Nexo game immediately after this one.
All right, and just for clarification, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Zeratul. It's not a Muradin. Yes. The draft, unfortunately, bugged. The website is a brand new website, so there's still little kinks to work out. As you see, I know Hefla has been working on it, so strong work by them to figure it out and get this working, the functionality proper, as soon as humanly possible. It is such a great tool, so aesthetically pleasing to the vision balls. Right now, we're just waiting for these teams to queue up and get into the match, and it looks like everyone is ready, so this match should be starting at any point in time. So, yeah, I'm looking at the Abathur. What is the play style with the Abathur? And, it's again, it's a hero we haven't seen. The last time we saw in Abathur was many months ago when he was a completely different hero. He's had received a lot of changes. Before he was a split push beast,
right?
And now I mean, he can kind of split push with the monstrosity, but then he goes all in on it. He doesn't have that ultimate evolution to fall back on, which is really what he was picked up for.
Yeah, the ultimate evolution. I mean, there was a big double or triple whammo that really hit Abathur. I mean, when they nerfed promote, he also got nerfed in terms of just like his pick, and then they kind of reworked him a little bit. They gave him a second ultimate, and they removed the heroics out of clones. So it was just like a big 1-2 right there from the devs saying, all right, well, I guess we don't want to see Abathur anymore. Yep. And you see him every now and then in solo queue, maybe Hero League, but at the same time, he has not been in any competitive matches that I can think of in the last month.
Yeah. It's a real interesting choice. Obviously, the Illidan with a hat from Abathur really increases his damage significantly. His damage is already very substantial, but now you put the burst spike on top of it and the shields to increase his survivability. There's definitely a lot of synergy going on there. What I'm asking myself is the power from the Abathur that is going to be granted on that Illidan warrant the pick and the weaknesses of that hero on the map? Because the map is Dragonshire, and Dragonshire is all about getting having a global presence, having good rotation and mobile heroes. Obviously, Abathur is mobile in the sense that he can be in a team fight when he needs to be with the symbiote, and he can use his ultimate evolution whenever he needs to, but he actually isn't a very good physical body to pick up a Dragon Shrine. So we're going to see how this pick plays out. I'm excited to see what they do with it. We are in the match, though. Ladies and gentlemen, on the left side of your map is going to be Bob, otherwise known as our Bakerz. We are going to have a Thief on Asmon on BKB, on the I almost said Chef, the Chen, Conti on the Malfurion, Nandi on Zeratul, and down in the bottom lane is going to be Tomzy playing the Bala.
And their opponents coming out strong with the name of Penta. We'll have to see if they can take home any Penta kills. It will be IK Zoid, Onsum, not awesome, Onsum, Genji, Sid, and Chimera. And Chimera actually very aptly playing out with this Abathur role. So you're right. In terms of presence on the map, you're not really going to see a direct body correlation from the team here at Penta. They are really going to be looking just to use those hats to try to make their advantage. Will this be a clone? I suspect it will be a double Illidan clone. That's just a little bit of what I'm thinking there. And a double Illidan clone is actually extremely scary to think about. But we don't really have those double supports right on the back of it. And if we're cloning someone with the Abathur, it means that we're not putting the hat on the actual Illidan either. So I suspect we'll see a clone. In terms of everything else, though, we're going to have to keep a close eye. Right now, we got pressurized glands. So, Spike Burst increases the range, decreases the cooldown. Not a problem. We're going to be seeing a lot of Spike Bursts out of these guys today. But also, Shane, this is curious coming out from Leader Bakerz. I mean, Bob has put their party lane into the top.
That's something you don't normally see. Usually the lanes are dictated by the flow of the mercenary camps and the objectives. And with the bottom lane having 3 separate mercenary camps in the same lane that go to the same lane, that's usually why we see so much emphasis in the bottom lane. But a little bit of a change-up. With that Asmodon, obviously Asmodon speaks volumes when it comes to pushing, as they are already going to get themselves a tower. And right here at the minute-and-a-half mark, going to give them a big experience boost. Is going to grant them level 4 well before their enemy. And Zod has to be careful not to get picked off there. Thankfully, he's an Illidan, one of the more slippery heroes to latch onto. And yeah, it's a real interesting choice, but right now it's paying off because I don't think that they were expecting a 3-man push top lane, so they weren't prepared for it, and these towers are already going down.
So Zoid, oh, he's getting died. Yeah, that's wow. Actually, that Shadow Shield coming out really strong there at the end of it. Will that actually be enough to turn the kill around? It will. So it will be a trade out there from the Zeratul. The problem is that we don't have anybody here into the top lane except this Abathur. So I guess that will be actually somebody in the top lane. The Abathur hat is on that tower, so that he will be cleaning up that rest of that experience with that double presence of his. And that will not really put us in too much of a disadvantage. But because of those towers already down, Zoid and crew are not really looking for this early game oppression. And in fact, look at this. We are even going to go so far just to try to push them right out of lane. Genji up here now to help out with the Illidan, as their bottom lane is just not really the pushing combo that it needs to be.
Yeah, and Vala is real good at doing kind of, the anti-push with the great wave clear and multi-shot. Speaking a little bit more about the Vala, we're seeing this build coming out with the sort of the Q build with the Hungry Arrow. And this is a build that we saw last night in a North American tournament, and the idea behind it is there's an Illidan on the other team, and Illidan can really make Vola's life a living hell because he can just latch onto her. Even with a Vault, he can just easily get on top of her with either the dive or the sweeping strike. And the ideology is basically create as much space between you and the Illidan as possible. And with the Puncturing Arrow at level 4, that's exactly what it does. Up here in top lane, though, Diablo's getting the dive.
Yeah, the Diablo's not really doing so well. We don't have that pool, and he doesn't have the regen available to him like we do with that Illidan. So the dunk actually comes out. At the same time, we had the roam down into the bottom lane with the Zeratul. So there goes the Earther. There goes the Illidan on top of things. Illidan actually sticking around way too long into the top lane. I expected him to hightail it out of there. So kill, kill, kill. We're up to 4 for 1, and Zeratul is actually in very big danger, bringing out a Dragon Knight.
So there is the first Dragon Knight right about the 3 3/4 minute mark. A 2 levels, soon to be 1 level advantage. Going there, I'm sorry, 2 levels, almost about to be 3 level advantage, going the way of the Bakerz. They are definitely performing very, very well here. Looking at the Asmodon, he's up to 70 bonus damage already at the 4-minute mark, and that means he is doing a great job. The team as a whole is doing a great job at enabling this Asmodon to get as many of those damage stacks as he can.
They body blocked the dragon. He's body blocked.
Oh my lord.
He can't get out. Now, had that not been Nanda, he would have been in some big trouble. He still actually could with that engage here from Zoid, but he does also have the Abathur hat on top of him. Spike bursts and the stab's going to be coming out strong. Do we have another blink? We do. Nanda with the first 8 on top of it, and the Void Prison immediately hits 10, skills it, catches 4 of them in it. Here comes the BKB, here comes the dunk. Tychus is down. Zoid is only level 8, has no metamorphosis, but we do got a barrel. That will keep Genji from running away. There goes the Odin, there goes the Diablo, and the turnaround dunks are absolutely real from Beat Our Bakerz, as they are already done with the top lane. They're now going to be working their way through the mid, and this is looking grim.
I say Beat Our Bakerz are looking so very well. 3 level advantage. And when there's an Abathur on the enemy team with a 3 level discrepancy, still no ultimate evolution, this is just not looking good for them whatsoever. Beat Our Bakerz is going to allow themselves to walk around the map, knock down the structures, pick up mercenary camps, grant them all the map presence and map pressure in the world. Looking at the lanes, looks like mid lane is right at the line of scrimmage, like the map just started. Pretty even for them. Top lane's pushed in a little favorable for them, and then bottom lane obviously pushing in to that last remaining fort that they have available to them.
So something I have been noticing is just like, what is with the lane compositions here? Why did we put a tank with the Asmodon and the Malfurion? And I gotta say that these guys, they got it figured out. So some of the best combos I've ever seen early game to feed an Asmodon that damage has been Rhaegar with lightning shields, Malfurion with roots, and now, because we are in the region where Chen is actually highly favored, the Flame Breath actually ticks down extremely small ticks, especially early game. So between the roots and the Flame Breaths, almost every wave in the top was cleaned up by Asmodon. That's why he has so much bonus damage already. He has the Black Pool. I'm going to take a quick look at it. 142 damage at 6 minutes. I've tried to do these builds in solo queues. You get 142 damage in 20 minutes. He is 3 times ahead of that curve. And I got to say, you know, I said if your name isn't Arthalon, I haven't really seen it work. If your name's Thief, I'm definitely putting you up there.
I mean, just doing some basic quick math, he's basically getting almost about maybe 22 creeps a minute. And in terms of any other conventional MOBAs, that is an incredible rate for him to be getting that. So he is going to be scaling so well into the late game, and especially with a 3 level advantage on top of it. Level 13 talents are here, looking like we're going to see a shrink rate from Malfurion, so that's going to help a lot with the dive heavy composition that Penta has available to them in both the Illidan and the Diablo as well. It's going to be the giant killer from the Vala, pretty standard, and of course wormholes. This is when Zeratul really starts to come online. He's going to be much more effective in these team fights.
Yeah, the wormhole especially. Dart in, get the damage dart out. It's a very safe skill. You can even dart in, get the Void Prison dart out from anybody that was not in there, but doesn't actually matter right now. Nanda is going to be taking over this Dragon Knight. Yet again, the map presence is so heavily in favor of Beat Our Bakerz. And I'm just looking at the lanes are just slowly losing out. The Asmodon is now starting to hit 700 damage with the Black Pool and dunks. It is insane how much wave clear clear that we actually have between these guys already. And Thief, again, he picks up 3 more on the back of that. The Dragon Knight has now gone top, and he's kicked Diablo out of his lane. He has actually kicked Diablo out of the lane as the rest of the push is now focused here on the mid. This is just going all aces right now for Peter Bakerz.
Pushing in the mid lane, pushing in the top lane. Tier 2 towers going down to the 8-minute mark. Horizon, level 16 rather, is on the horizon for Bakerz, man, and they are looking in such good shape here. There's the level 16. Now Penta has to be careful here. They are down tier 2 tier talents, yet they are taking a team fight anyways. You see how that laser does. The laser is on top of the barrel, but the barrel is zoning out so effectively. The team of Penta that completely separated the Uther from the rest of his team. Divide and conquer is the name of the game for Bakerz. So very well done by them. No one going down. 2 kills going their way. And now this mid keep seems to be the reprisal form.
So I like the idea of the laser, it just latches onto somebody. The problem is it latched onto the Panda. And BKB is just able to shield almost right through it. I mean, there's no shields left on the barrel itself, so it did do a good amount of damage, but then we had the Tranquility, we had the shields from the Brew and his passive. It was just absolutely a null factor in that fight. We also had the clone Tychus in there, but he went down in extremely short order, and now the Illidan is coming back up. It's only 9 minutes into this game, Shane. The death timers are really not that big, and here comes the Illidan once more. Unfortunately, just the hit points are basically full here for Bakerz. They took the keep, they took the gate, they had the dragon, they took out the top gate as well. Bottom is non-existent, and a 4-level lead has now developed.
Taking a look at what Penta can do to get themselves in this game, and that is go back to the draft and not picking Abathur. He has basically contributed absolutely nothing to these team fights, I feel. And Bakerz has punished it so very well. And that's really what has snowballed out of control, as well as just getting outmaneuvered. They're looking so very good. Definitely looking like the better team here. Though level 13 has been achieved by Penta. That's a big boost specifically for the Tychus, as now he gets that lead rain. So it's a stack on his Q, so we can catch someone out, snare him up, keep him in position. But a lot of these heroes on the side of Bakerz are hard to keep a latch on. Chen can jump away. Asmodon is just very, very tanky. Obviously, there's a vault from Vala. Malfurion is always going to be the backline, never in position. And the Wormhole Blink from Zeratul. So just a lot of heroes who are slippery, hard to latch onto, and that's a good thing to have when you have a Diablo and Illidan on the enemy team.
Oh, so very close to cashing the 3-man. Well, okay, actually, no. Tychus did run into it. So it was the 3-man Void Prison, not the 4. The laser goes down. The Apocalypse does not hit anybody. And that was how many ults? That was definitely the 2 ults. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the drill. That was the Apocalypse for nothing. They did get themselves a shrine, so a little bit of pressure going to be off their back. But look at this beeline into the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, both lanes are pushing so hard. The Asmodon is up to 262 stacks. Again, he's doing the 20-plus creeps a minute, which is absolutely insane. He's been scaling so very well. Bottom keep dead to rights. It's going to go down. I mean, look at that. 1,036 damage.
Yep.
Illidan, that's essentially half of Illidan's HP.
272 bonus. He's doubled the bonus almost in 6 minutes.
That is absolutely insane. Now, top lane is pushed in as well. The tower is out of ammo and under a lot of damage. The keep itself is only at about half ammo. So looking for another Dragon Knight is Bakerz, and if they get themselves a 12-minute Dragon Knight with the pressure they already have on the map with all the lanes being pushed in, that could just be the last keep going down, but more importantly, it could just be
Zeratul's going to be in that top. It's going to be the Dragon almost for sure. We don't have a Void. Another 15 seconds, but we do got the barrel ready to go. We got the Rain of Vengeance. We got the Trank. I mean, at this point, the 3-level difference, we don't have level 16 talents here for Penta. They are still very much down that talent tier. They're down 3 levels worth of base scaling. Abathur has just been forced into the fountain. I mean, he's just absolutely a null factor, as you were saying a little bit earlier. Genji's thinking, though, that's time to do something.
Even when Abathur was a common pick, that's how you dealt with them. A good Divine Storm, but the Tranquility has already been popped, so everyone is getting healed. The HP bars is just simply not moving right now, as there's just not enough damage. The sustain is too much for Penta to do anything about. And there's an Ultimate Evolution way too late They needed that about a good 5 to 10 seconds ago, and this looks like it's going to be a full handful taken for Bakerz. A Dragon Knight, level 19. More than likely the game right here, Sean.
Level 19 in 13 minutes is a fairly impressive score. We still don't actually have those 16 talents here from Genji. He's trying to soak and trying to keep this Tomze at bay, but that's just going to lead him into a back-to-back death. Gets that Apocalypse off at the end. That was a no factor in the last fight, but the only survivor will be Chimera in that fountain, and it will be the win for Bakerz. So guys, it might have been a quick game, but this just means we can get into our quarterfinals just that much quicker. It's a good show, guys. Penta, I think that they do coming in with that 13-minute comment in the chat, but that will be that. The round of 16s are all decided, and we have ourselves now the full cadre and roster ready to go for the quarterfinals.
So you can tell with that little banter at the end that Penta definitely felt like that they were the underdogs, and absolutely, just to put it lightly, getting outclassed.
Yep.
By Bakerz. Well done by them. That Chen is playing so very well. I mean, every time that barrel was used, it just was separate 2 or 3 people with the barrel. Just like I said, divide and conquer. That's exactly what happened, and they're going to be moving on to the quarterfinals here, Sean.
I'm going to have to just keep an eye on Thief from now on. It's just like that was